You're welcome. We will now be on the record in 2020 TR 551, State of Kansas versus Braxton Ross Broyles. Jared Regier for the state. Mr. Broyles appears in person and pro se. Is your bondsman here? This was set for a motion for judgment on bond. Looks like you failed to appear. You pled not guilty September 14th. And well, this goes back to February 5th of 2021, Mr. Broyles. And
yes.
it looks like you were given a $1,500 cash or surety bond May 11th of 22. You told me on May 18th of 22, you were applying for diversion, but on July 12th, 2022, the county attorney's diversion coordinator said you had never done that. You came in the next day on the 13th, continued your not guilty plea and continued to say you were applying for diversion, but you were told that was the last time that diversion would be offered by the county attorney. September 13th, the diversion coordinator said you'd never applied. So September 14th, you continued your not guilty plea and still asked for additional time for diversion. And it was continued, surprisingly again, to November 14th of 2022, but you failed to appear and you still hadn't applied for diversion. And you were issued a bench warrant with a no bond hold. You were next seen by the court, looks like Judge Satterfield, January 6th of 2023. And you were commenting that you'd still never heard back from the state regarding your diversion. Of course, they said you hadn't applied. So you told the court that you were going to retain an attorney. You were told.
Ma'am, I asked the judge.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Just a moment. The court directed you to retain counsel, but if you didn't have counsel by your next hearing, you were to inquire of Judge Webster. So you were seeing Judge Hart, and that you were to be at the Sally Port for all future hearings. And your bond was set at 1,000 cash or surety. So let's knock that out. You're not at the Sally Port, are you, Mr. Broyles?
No, I got a link on my email to do it on Zoom.
Okay, well, in January, Judge Hart told you all future hearings had to be in person at the courthouse. And then March 20th, you failed to appear again after you'd seen Judge Hart. Your bond went up to 2,000 cash or surety. And then you were picked up and saw, not sure which judge you saw, maybe me, July 7th. No, I should take that back. You weren't in court that day. You emailed asking if there was something you could do to take care of the case because you had the opportunity to move to Florida and that you kept trying to submit an appointment card explaining why you'd missed your very first court date, but it was not legible. And you were told that in order to resolve this case, you could call Lori at the sheriff's office, I believe that is. So we are here today on a motion for judgment on bond. You apparently got notice that your bond was going to be revoked today, and you somehow managed to get a link and show up even though you were by Zoom, even though you were told by Judge Hart to appear at the Sally Port for all future hearings. Would you agree with all that?
Ma'am, I was told the one that I sent the picture in for, I was told that I was supposed to appear in Sally Port for that one, and then it would be up to the discretion of you after that. I was told that in court.
Who told you that? Because that's not what Judge Hart's notes say.
It was the judge that I saw whenever I got picked up and then I had to rebond. That's what I was told, that it would be up to the discretion of you after that. And then I showed up, and it's very, very difficult for me to get out there.
Are you in Florida?
No, ma'am.
Where are you?
I live in Wichita.
And it's
I have an opportunity to move to Florida to pursue an actual career other than working at restaurants and take care of help take care of my grandpa and grandma down there. So I honestly, ma'am, I was wondering if we can do any sort of just some kind of fines that I can pay so I can get through this, because I cannot leave the state with any legal obligations here.
Okay, Mr. Broyles, first of all, you have not seen a judge since you saw Judge Hart on January 6th of 2023.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
his notes are very clear that you were told to appear at the Sally Port for all, ALL, all future hearings. And you didn't come back to court after that. So you couldn't have seen me, and I couldn't have given you, nobody could have given you discretion not to appear at the Sally Court because you haven't seen a judge since then.
I attempted to come in.
You haven't seen a judge, though. That's the bottom line. You said the judge told you that there was discretion and all that, and that's just not possible, sir. And I'm not going to debate that. You should be here at the Sally Port per Judge Hart's orders. Secondly, this is a motion for judgment on bond, so there should be an active warrant out for your arrest that you need to surrender yourself to. Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am. I am now aware of that.
But you knew it before too, didn't you, when you failed to appear the last time?
I attempted to appear. I was given the wrong date on the card, and I even sent 2 different photos in.
What date did your card say?
I believe it said the 22nd, ma'am.
Of what month?
Of I don't have the card anymore. It was I came in and they said, oh, my court date was supposed to be on the 20th. And then I went home and I took a picture of the card and sent it in, and they said they couldn't read it, but the picture I sent in, I could clearly see the day on there.
Well, apparently you didn't come to court the day that you said was on your card.
Because they said, oh, well, I don't have court that day. I apparently missed it. So when I apparently missed it and I sent them that in, I didn't get a response for a couple of days.
So you took yourself to court with an active warrant and nobody arrested you on it?
I walked into Sallyport, ma'am.
And
I walked into the courthouse.
And the deputies at the Sallyport just told you, oh, you missed your court, go on home?
No, I said on my card, it said the 22nd, and they told me to go get the card. And
Okay,
I took
so
a
they let
picture
you
of it.
walk
And
off?
sent it in.
They let you walk off with an active warrant then? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, Mr. Regier, what do you want to do about the reason we're here today? And that's motion for judgment on bond.
Well, Your Honor, if the defendant, I think the defendant may have referred to the possibility of, to use his words, quote, getting this taken care of. If the court wants to, if the court is finding that he has waived his right to counsel and the defendant wants to enter a plea, certainly I'm prepared to make any recommendations on that. As far as the motion for judgment on bond is concerned, I think the state would move to withdraw that at this point. However, in review of the file, it looks like when the defendant failed to appear at the March 20th hearing, the court had entered certain orders regarding a bond. I think the court has already referred to that to some extent. I'm not showing any more recent appearance bonds since the bond that had the appearance of the March 20 date.
So are you moving to set aside the warrant as well?
Well, Your Honor, the court has already ordered that warrant, so far from me to make any motions along that point. At this point, the state would only move to withdraw the motion for judgment on bond.
So you're basically suggesting we reinstate the previous bond?
On that point, Your Honor, I would probably respectfully defer to the court on that. At this point, the state's only motion is to withdraw the motion for judgment on bond filed with the court.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Mr. Broyles, what do you plan to do to resolve this matter? Are you still wanting an attorney? Are you still going to hire an attorney?
I asked for a court appointed with it wasn't with you, ma'am. It was with the other judge. I cannot remember his name.
Judge Hart?
Yeah,
Judge
I asked for
Sanders.
a corner
It's like you
appointed,
had
and he
Judge
said
Sanders. I said Hart a while ago. It was Sanders. Okay.
He said that that would be up to you for a court appointed attorney because I cannot afford one. So if if I could get files to file for a court appointed attorney, then I would love to do that. But like I said earlier, if I can just be charged with some, or not charged, I'm sorry, if I could just pay a certain amount of fines and just get this all taken care of, just so I can move on to the next chapter of my life. Pretty much, that's really all I'm trying to do. I got this ticket when I was 17 years old. I'm 21 now. That's almost 4 years. I'm almost 22. I want to get all my legal obligations dealt with so I can proceed to move down to Florida and pursue a better career. And so that's why I'm asking for like maybe some kind of fines or something like that, something that I could pay off.
Well, I can't tell you what your sentence would be. We need to kind of approach this in a systematic manner. The first issue is, do you want an attorney or do you not? And can you afford an attorney? If you cannot, do you want to apply for an attorney? Or do you want to waive your right to counsel and represent yourself?
I'd like to apply for a court-appointed attorney, please.
All right. And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
Bourbon Street. It's a bar and grill.
Is that in Wichita?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you working full-time? 40 hours a week?
I'm attempting to.
Are they giving you 40 hours a week at least?
No, ma'am. I can only get around 35, and
35?
that's what's stretching it.
Okay, and then what do they pay you per month?
I get paid hourly. I get paid $12 an hour.
But what's your monthly pay?
$1,200, something like that.
And then do you get tips on top of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and do you pay any kind of rent or mortgage?
Yes, I pay rent and taxes on my house.
All right, so you own your home?
I own the trailer, but I rent a lot.
I see. And are you married or single?
Single, ma'am.
Okay. I will appoint Attorney Darren Patterson. Can you write down his name? You got a pencil and paper?
Let me go to my notes real quick.
Okay. Everyone always have pencil and paper ready when your name is called in court?
All right. You said Gary Patterson?
No, Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N, Patterson. His number is 316-322-7700. Please call his office and give him your contact information as soon as you leave this hearing. And your next court date will be Monday, October 16th at 9. Ashley, that is, or Savannah, that is Monday, isn't it, the 16th?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So tell Mr. Patterson your court date is October 16th, and I'm going to have you come at 8 instead of 9, Mr. Broyles.
Okay.
Now then. You've got your attorney, you've got your court date. And state has set aside its motion for judgment on bond. So it looks like that will reinstate your $1,000 cash or surety if you can make sure your bondsman will be continued on that, and that will withdraw your warrant that is active for your failure to appear. But Mr. Broyles, don't leave the state of Kansas until you get this resolved.
Yes, ma'am. That's the whole plan.
Okay, all right. Anything else, Mr. Broyles, that we need to talk about before I let you go?
No, that's it.
All right, Mr. Regier, anything else we need to talk about?
More of a point of clarification, Your Honor. Am I correct in understanding the court's order that the defendant is not to leave the state of Kansas as a condition of the reinstated bond?
That is correct.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If there's nothing further, Mr. Broyles, you are excused at this time, but call attorney.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Mr. Patterson, are you ready to take up some clients?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, if we could start with Francisco Albright.